Truth or Dare, which is not to be confused with the 2018 version that came after it, or to be confused with this year's terrible Tarot. Truth or Dare is a 2017 supernatural horror straight to TV television horror film directed by Nick Simon. And so this already kind of takes us into guilty pleasures, right? It was a movie made straight for TV. But regardless, it still hits all those check marks. You got a plot that focuses on a group of 8 college students who are forced to play a deadly game of Truth or Dare, and then a vengeful spirit comes at them in a haunted house. You take this premise, and well, honestly, this movie received negative reviews. But as with anything, you gotta find the good within the bad. And for me, what I really liked about Truth or Dare is, yes, it's again another one of those movies that fits a very specific criteria of stupid college students doing stupid things that they shouldn't be doing. But what I think really works with this film is the actual chemistry of the cast. The cast of young adults have a lot going on, and they feel and they sound like they are lifetime friends, with all the verbal jabs and moments of vulnerability. It's something that feels very real. And so seeing these characters on screen together, I actually wanted to see them succeed. I wanted them to go through this game of Truth or Dare, and hopefully all 8 would make it out alive. Special shout out to both Tyler and to Alex for being the most useful people in that entire house. And of course, shout out to Harvey because we all love Guillermo. This isn't a very good movie. I'm not going to go out there and say that it completely changed my life, but it is a good popcorn flick in a lot of respects. If you like those movies where you see people put into situations like in Saw and they have to figure out a way out of it, this is kind of like that. I mean, I do have issues with the movie. For a game that takes on a sinister twists and boasts being winnable if you play by the rules, there are definitely way too many dares and not enough truth cards. On top of that, I understand the concept that the cast shares their dares and that they share the dare they will survive, but the dares are already hopeless and they're so unfair. This is a very mean movie. Because again, I like the cast and I want them to succeed, but for example, you're being told that everyone will survive if they're able to share these dares, but you go from burning your hand on the stove to drinking poison to playing Russian roulette. I mean, as you go through all 3 rounds, it's just gets impressively more and more ridiculous to the point where you're like, okay, these kids aren't going to survive. And that's where we're at. On top of this being a pretty good popcorn flick, we also have a very special cameo from the horror queen herself, Heather Langenkamp, who was in the original Nightmare on Elm Street. So if you want something that's going to be a bit nasty, a little bit gory, and putting people through the ringer, this is a good movie to watch. But I will warn you, it is very hopeless at times. And again, I like the cast. I think they did a lot for this movie, and they felt real to me. And so losing them was that much worse.